Okay, then we'll get right started. Sorry for the delay, guys. Annalyn and I are here to talk how you can beat Amazon with open source and experience. Uh, Amazon is a bit the company we all love to hate. If you're a client, you probably like it a lot because it has fast delivery. It has an enormous amount of products for sale. It's very convenient. If you're a shareholder, you love it even more. And if you're a data scientist, you probably adore it because they do a lot of things very, very right. If you work there, you might love it a little less if you work in the warehouses. And if you're a competitor, you might feel a bit intimidated or the feeling that you will get crushed by them. So what we're here to talk about is that you shouldn't feel crushed at all if you arm yourself right. And how can you do that? Basically, you need two things. You need a clever strategy and you need solid weaponry. The clever strategy is, if you take the armor, for example, it's his battle plan, and the solid weaponry is, yeah, basically his weapons, his sword, his shield. And we're going to show you how you can get these tools and how you can get the battle plan. But before we talk about the strategy, we need to talk a bit about context first. Yeah, last year was all about this. Digital transformation has happened not because of some visionary CEO or some visionary CTO, no, but because somebody in China ate a bat that wasn't cooked very well, and now we saw this. According to McKinsey, this has led to a really, really dramatic transformation that in 3 months' time, we evolved 10 years in terms of digital business penetration, and also consumers did the same transformation. Now, what we see is that not everybody did well. A lot of big brands actually filed for bankruptcy this year. There's Hertz, Lee's, for example. There's my favorite, or one that really breaks my heart. It's Cirque du Soleil, who also filed for bankruptcy. But in the States, this was one of the biggest, JCPenney. It's really a household name in retail, and then a logical conclusion might be that, okay, but it's offline retail, of course, they're gonna go bust. Okay. I don't know what happened. Ik doe mijn presentatie kwijt. Sorry for that. Okay, sorry for the interruption. But so you might think it's logical because they're an offline retailer, and offline retailers are bound to do bad in this kind of transformation. Now, if you analyze it a bit deeper, that isn't exactly correct, because not everybody has suffered that much. On the contrary, you see JCP, which is JCPenney, that went minus 67% last year, and you see Walmart that went up 28%, which is also a household name in retail. But what is actually the difference between the ones that did well and the ones that did really, really bad? The difference is actually, and I can't show it any more clearly, this is what you see if you go to JCPenney right now. We are currently unable to provide a shopping experience for this country. And he summarizes it very well. One has been working for years to offer a very good experience and same-day delivery, etc. And another one was too late to invest in experience. And if you that brings us to actually the strategy you need to obsess over in terms of digital transformation. In times when everything goes digital, you need to obsess over your customer experience. Now, how do you do that? Well, a good place to start is with the customer journey, because Everybody who wants to interact with you has a certain path to follow, a journey to take, and he's trying to get from A to B. And actually, your job is to offer a great experience during that journey. And a great experience might be the feeling that this brings to mind. What is actually a great customer experience? It consists out of two things. On the one hand, you have the extreme convenience and the perfect flow. Everything should be as seamless as possible and as easy as possible to go from one stage to the next, from awareness to desire to action, etc., to drive your customer through the funnel where you want them right to the shopping cart. But that's only half of the experience. And that's the part where Amazon and Bol and Google and Zalando and the likes have raised the bar incredibly high. You're not going to beat them on that part. But there's another part to experience, and that other part is actually the feeling your customers have while going through that flow. And that's about touching the people's heart. It's about way more than just the convenience and then doing everything right. That's giving them a great feeling while they do it. And that's really the real big differentiator that gives you a standing chance against those great competitors. Now, if you know or if you agree that experience is important, then it might also be a good idea to start measuring the experience. And so we asked ourselves, can we do it? And we found no real tools that measured it. So we decided to build it ourselves last year. And we decided, or we found that a good experience consists out of 6 pillars. One is ease and effectiveness, which is the left part of the equation. And then there's the emotional part that has to do with how the copy feels, how the design feels, how what the pictures look like, etc. And then you try to measure the intention of your customer, because if he tells you your intention, whether he comes back or not, you're pretty sure about objectivizing his experiences. Now, you can translate this because this is what the research tells us, that 2/3 will simply walk away from a product or service of a brand they love after several bad experiences. And 1/3 walks away from a business they love after just one experience. And there's also an advantage, which is most people are prepared to pay a premium price for a better experience over a mediocre one. So that's why it's really important. Now, if we all agree that the tactics or the obsession over customer experience are important, and it's important that we measure them, then now it might be a good idea to see how can we implement it. And that's actually our weapon that we would like to talk about. Annalene is going to talk about how open source can give you the ideal weapon to deliver that actual digital experience.
Yes, hello. So indeed, what is your weapon when you want to implement this obsession? So where do you need to get started? In our opinion, it is a combination that is needed, a combination of a CMS, a content management system, but also a CDP, customer data platform, and marketing automation. So that indeed, those 3 elements, the CMS gives you the website with the content that can be personalized more and more. And the CDP contains actually all the customer data that you need to communicate in a personalized way. Combining that with a marketing automation software tooling, it gives you the opportunity to implement it through personalized chapters in your website, but also email communication. And the communication in that way can be really in line with what customer needs, what they are looking for, what they want, what their wishes are. Now, that is the combination of those 3 is what is called the XP. And actually, we are for sure not the only ones at Dropsolid who think about it like that, because even Gartner replaced the CMS quadrant and removed it and replaced it with the XP quadrant. But if we look really closely to the Gartner quadrant, what we see is that for the moment, there are mainly proprietary software, or if the software is license based and is open source, it still comes at a very high end pricing. So, so in the end, we thought that there is a big opportunity, and that's also kind of our vision and our mission, to give to all companies in the world access to the right weapons, to a DXP, which is accessible, which isn't that expensive in terms of pricing. So that's why at Dropsolid we have been working really hard to make the Dropsolid DXP, which combines Drupal CMS, Unomi as a CDP, and Motic, and which is also supported heavily by a DevOps and maintenance platform, so that for everybody who wants to use it, it comes in an out-of-the-box format, and it's really easy to work with it. Now, two very important advantages for that, because it is built with open software, with API connections and all the possibilities that come with that. We are also able to connect the DXP with all possible back office software. If it's CRM, ERP, or PIM, doesn't matter. We feel it should be able to connect, and it does. And then, of course, the second biggest advantage is it's not as expensive as some proprietary software. It doesn't come with high-end license fees that needs to be paid. So it's really accessible for all companies that needs the weapons to fight in the market.
Okay, thank you. So actually, you now have a strategy which is to really start obsessing over customer experience. You have a weapon which is the DXP that we offer, a digital experience platform, which Annelien has just explained to you. Now we'd like to offer you some really quick tactics you can start implementing right away to start competing with them. And the quote here from Neil Patel, if you don't follow him, you might want to do that, because he offers a lot of good online marketing advice. While you might not have the means and the motives, and certainly not of the largest retailer on the internet, you can still offer something that customers want, and that is experience. And here you can really make a difference as a smaller company and do some things that Amazon has way more difficulties to do. A first one that you can implement fairly easy, that's you can start using this, thanks to Facebook, Instagram, and Google. Really personalized advertising is now available to the masses. It's easy to use, it's very inexpensive, and the business results can be dramatic, as this retailer showed by having a 991% increase in business results after just 1 year of implementing those techniques. Another one is the convenience of a subscription model. Finding new clients is always hard. Keeping clients is way easier, and that's where your money lies. And if you offer them convenience, they will likely stay. So for example, if I buy flowers once for my wife and I get an email 1 week afterwards, how did your spouse like the flowers? Here's a subscription where you can surprise her every month, and you don't even have to worry about picking the flowers. We do it for you, and it's really, really beautiful. Chances are I do that. That's, by the way, a real life example. The $1 Shave Club does pretty much the same. They know how much men spend on their or when they need to replace the shaving knives, so they send them at the appropriate time. It's purely convenience that will keep your customer from looking at a competitor. So please do that. A small incentive that makes a huge difference is if you try to increase your shopping basket. If your average shopping basket is like 50 euros, for example, you might try to offer free shipping, let's say at 70 euros, for example, to push the shopping basket to make it bigger, and you will feel that in your turnover. And last but not least, this is really a great one that everyone can start doing right away. sometimes you make mistakes, maybe not even you, but maybe the one that does the handling for you. And customers will complain, customers will get angry with you. Instead of seeing that as a crisis, look at that as a huge opportunity to delight a wonderful experience. And if you want to know who does that really, really well, that's Coolblue and KLM, the Dutch airlines. They make it always a stunt if something like that happens. In this example, there was a fridge that was delivered at the wrong place, wrong time. The client was very unhappy because he had to take a day off to be home when the fridge was delivered. He was mad, posted it on social media. It got a lot of reaction. It got a lot of bad press. What did Coolblue do? They sent him a fridge full of goodies and beers and etc. And they turned it into a mini PR event that they posted on their social media. And they got a lot of good vibes also from the customer himself. So be like Coolblue. It's really a very good tactic.
Okay, so so that was our advice in terms of strategy and tooling. So I guess we can conclude by saying there are no more excuses and no more reasons. So why not jump on the train of customer experience with great toolings and great strategy and some interesting things on little tactics that you can start using. We as Drop Solids, we really want to act like a mentor for everybody who wants to get more information on that or to get inspired. So please, guys, tell us what you think. Join us in our booth. Send us your questions. You can also email us. And for the rest, I can only thank you for joining us and listening to us, and have another great experience at DrupalCon. Bye-bye.
Bye.